percussion instruments with Miss O'Brien. Percussion instruments are instruments that are struck, scraped, or shaken in order to make their sound. The people that play them are called percussionists, and they are very versatile musicians because they can play a wide variety of instruments. There are thousands of percussion instruments in the percussion family, and they can be placed into two categories: your pitched and your unpitched percussion. But what does that mean? Unpitched percussion instruments don't require a bass clef or a treble clef in order to read their rhythm. Instead, they use a percussion clef that rather shows what the rhythm notes are. That's because they don't produce pitch, but rather a tone. Examples of these instruments are the bongos, the trap set, the congas, maracas, and more. Let's learn a little bit more about our unpitched percussion instruments.
Let's take a look at some of these instruments and talk about the materials that they're made out of. Have you seen this before? If you said triangle, you're right. We hold it by the string, take the striker, tap it gently, and hear it ring. The triangle, made of metal. That's why it rings out for so long. This instrument is one we play by shaking, and it's lots of fun! The maraca. Oh, this one is made out of wood. A block of wood. And there's a hole carved out in the middle. Kind of tickles my finger. We hold it and take the mallet and tap on top. Since this is a block of wood that makes a tone, its name is the tone block. It's fun. You can even stick this inside and have a party! The hand drum. We use our hands on top of the head to play the hand drum, and you can play lots of ways by tapping or rubbing the top or tickling the top, like this. This is a skin instrument. So we've had 4 different kinds of instruments: a metal instrument, a shaker, a wood instrument, and now a skin instrument. All of these percussion instruments make up the percussion family.
Most pitched percussion instruments can play a variety of pitches, and they include the steel pan, the xylophone, the marimba, the chimes, and one that we're going to do together, the glass bottles. Let's learn a little bit more about the pitched percussion instruments.
The percussion instruments we looked at earlier do not have a pitch. They have a texture or sound effect, and those kinds of instruments are called unpitched percussion. There are hundreds of different kinds of percussion instruments all throughout the world in every single culture on the planet. And some of those percussion instruments do have a pitch. They're called pitched percussion. Here's one. It's called the glockenspiel, which means play the bells. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at the glockenspiel. Here's the glockenspiel. Take a look. At the bottom, the bars are longer than at the top. At the top, they're smaller. If they're longer or larger, the sound will be lower. The smaller, the higher. Listen to the glockenspiel. Fun. But we play our glockenspiels sideways. Let's turn it this way. The sound of the bars is still going up and down. The lower sounds are to the left, high sounds to the right, and that allows us to move up and down in order of our pitches. There's another pitched percussion instrument you've probably heard of before that we can look at too. It has low sounds and high sounds and sounds that we can make to go up and down, just like our glockenspiel. But the difference between it and the glockenspiel is the material it's made of. These bars are made of wood. This is a xylophone. Let's hear some low sounds. Let's hear some high sounds. Let's hear sounds that go up. And sounds that go down. The texture and timbre is different because of the wood material. Do you hear the difference between the xylophone and glockenspiel?
Just as there are hundreds of percussion instruments all over the world, there are also 100 different types of percussion ensembles, but they all come out of cultural traditions. For example, we have the steel pan ensemble in Trinidad and Tobago, the percussion section of our traditional orchestra, the tambu bamboo, drum circles, marimba ensembles, and the marching band. There are so many ensembles across the world, and we are going to take our time to look at the ones from Asia, India, Africa, and the Americas. There is definitely something different and unique for everyone to listen to. As we talk about percussion instruments, we can also start thinking of the timbre terms that we use for them. Some instruments can be striking or hollow, bright or dark, noisy and full, thin and shrill, warm, muddy, or very, very clear. Thank you for joining me on this percussion journey. Next week, we will be building our very own percussion instruments. See the next section of your class for the material that you are going to need. Question of the day. What timbre term would you use to describe the glockenspiel? And which one would you use to describe the marimba? Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.